Hi, welcome to uxlivinglab. Our presentation will start soon. Hi, welcome back. Today we are talking about how to build an innovation culture within the organization. Specifically, how to keep everything moving. This is the fourth presentation of this series, and all the presentations we are talking about open innovation journey. It starts with ideation, then concept, then look and feel, prototyping, MVP and feedback. More specifically, we are talking about listening, planning, executing, deploy and measuring. This is the 5 main steps while implementing an organization culture. You have to listen, the innovation team has to listen, then plan, then execute and deploy and measure. This is the way we had to move forward with implementing innovation culture. So, by summarizing the previous sessions, first we talk about, do you have an ideation deck? Ideation deck is a platform to submit and keep ideas from stakeholders of your organization or community. In first presentation, we talk about what is ideation deck and how to maintain it. After that, the second one, we talk about how to analyze ideation deck. In that, we talk about keeping the idea, how to keep the idea, and how to learn about the idea, then how to do SWOT analysis, then how to execute. So, as a next stage in ideation deck, we have to build an innovation team. So, who will be in that innovation team, how to build that innovation team, that we discuss in second presentation. Then analyze opinion from clients and users. These are the main takeaways from session 2. Then last week we talked about how to get support for your idea. We talk about opinions and ideas. Then what is an idea? That is origin plus preferred path plus destination. These are the definition of idea. First, specification of the idea. Then idea for daily task and visionary ideas. And how to use leadership skills to move forward. Pacing and leading. And ask for contribution, not feedback, support others' ideas and idea ownership. These are the important points we discussed last week. So, now we are talking about how to keep everything moving. So, how to manage, very simple thing, how to manage ideation. After ideation, how to manage and execute that idea in the day-to-day professional life. So, the first concept we have to talk about design, management and leadership. In the management of ideation or in the management of implementing the ideas, I am presenting some modern concepts every organization has to implement to move forward. First one is design, management and leadership. What it is? Design leadership is a concept complementary to design management. So, design leadership aims to define future strategies and design management is responsible for implementation. That is the difference between design leadership and design management. So, design leadership talk about future strategies and how to move forward, and design management will talk about implementation. According to some management experts, the core responsibilities of design leadership that is envisioning of the future, manifesting strategic intent, directing design investment, managing corporate reputation, creating and nurturing an environment for innovation, training for design leadership. These are the main responsibilities of design leadership. What it is? A leadership should have vision towards future. For every leadership, there should be a vision towards future. So, in design leadership also, we have to fix a vision towards future. Then manifesting strategic intent. What are the strategies we have to implement in the design? Then what should be the investment, time or money investments? Then managing corporate reputation, that is very important. So, whether it is matching with the vision and mission of the company while we implement a design and ideation to design, then creating and nurturing environment for it. So, we have to keep the company environment, the team environment or the entire environment for innovation. That is a responsibility of design leadership. Then training for design leadership, that is a training for the team. So, these are the specific responsibilities of design leadership, and in design management main responsibility to day-to-day implementation. Then the next concept we had to implement by the innovation team is business model canvas. Most of the people are familiar with business model canvas now, but now in this context we have to implement business model canvas for each unit, for each idea, each business idea. As we discussed last week, the business idea is having a ownership, that is idea ownership, that we can treat as a startup or as a different team with idea ownership. So, in that idea ownership team or in that startup team, we have to implement business model canvas. Most of the people are familiar with business model canvas, but I am just demonstrating what it is. So, business model canvas talk about different aspects like key partners who is involving in that business. So, actually here we are talking about the business of the unit. So, key partners of that unit, key activities in that unit, value proposition, that value proposition identity, customer journey, time, location, role, attitude, then segmentations, then value propositions, that customer gains, gain creators, customer pains and pain relievers, and task for the customers. These are the important aspects in the value proposition. Then we have to talk about key resources, interaction channels, social media channels or customer. In value proposition we have to talk about customer task, the task client and customer has to do. Then we talk about indirect cost, direct cost and revenue streams in business model canvas. So, business model canvas, everyone knows business model canvas, these are the components of the business model canvas, but I elaborated and demonstrated it as a format. So, you can use it. Important thing is most of the companies, the business model canvas is used by top management. So, what we suggest is business model canvas to be implemented in unit level, that is the idea level. So, every day they had to go through the business model canvas and record the improvements. That's a way the team can move forward. So, this is one of the important tools we had to implement in the idea leadership or the design leadership. When we convert or when we improve our team towards innovation culture, we had to use these type of management tools for day-to-day management of the team. Then comes the third one is innovation circles. It's a very beautiful concept. We have to form different circles in your organization. Not only in your team, the innovation team, outside the innovation team also you can add innovation circles, and that circles also to be added as a extended team for innovation. What are the circles? You can take the internal circles like production, costing or compliance and others. They are different department depending on your organization. You can select innovation culture. The external team is users. Users contain substitution users, customers and competitor users. These are the three main groups of the users. The customers, that is your own customers. Then substitution users, the users will be depending on other methods to reach the same objective or same purpose what your product is giving, for same result what your product is giving. That is called substitution users. Then competitors users, the users of your competitors. Then non-users. So, these are the different circles we can form in your organization. So, we can generally we can classify it as internal circles and external circles. So, again the internal circles can be divided into these components, these small circles, at the same time external circles. What is the purpose of these circles? These circles are mainly used for testing. So, when you start with an idea, because when the innovation of based on the idea, that is we are implementing innovation culture in an organization. So, it starts with an idea, then idea is moving to converted to more detailed concept that innovation team has formed. The team is using different management tools to use day-to-day management, and different tools they are using for keeping the idea moving forward. Then we have to test in each stage of innovation. For that, innovation team has to build circles. These are informal circles. This need not a department. This need not to be a metric structure or anything like that in organizational behavior, but actually it should be a informal circles which can be used when we had to test or when we had to try the new innovations or interact with the ideation. That is the purpose of innovation circles. The next one is innovation journey. The innovation team has to set an innovation journey from ideation, that is empathizing idea. You already started with an idea. So, you have to elaborate that idea, do the SWOT analysis and get the best idea according to the context. So, that is the empathizing idea. So, you can talk to the innovation circle to empathize the idea. So, idea can be presented in front of the innovation circles, then get their feedback. So, empathizing idea. Then from idea to concept, the idea will be more detailed, then it becomes a concept. Then sketch the concept. This concept can be sketched in a drawing board or in a spreadsheet or any method you can use. Sketching the concept, then concept to look and feel. Is a designing look and feel, then prototyping. The next stage is more technical things, the rapid prototyping, then MVP, then feedback. I am not going to explain all the stages of innovation journey, but innovation team should maintain the innovation journey and keep it moving. So, innovation team should manage this innovation journey. That is, this is little bit a complex process, because when you reach the look and feel, at that time you feel that okay, one component is not proper. So, you have to come back to the ideation and do the ideation again and move forward to look and feel. So, you have to travel back and forth so many times in the innovation journey, then only it will reach. Sometimes the ideas, concept and look and feel will run parallel. Then it comes to the prototype. In sometimes the main prototype is happening, some components will be in the concept stage. So, this is this can be learned only by executing it in day-to-day projects, because classroom explanation is not enough to implement an innovation journey. That is very interesting as well as there is no we can't keep a fixed track for this innovation journey. That is, loosely we can say these are the stages of innovation journey, but when you divide into components and sprints, the innovation journey will be in different stages for different components, and at the end it should be assembled and completed. So, this is to be learned by executing in a project. Anyway, the innovation team has to manage an innovation journeys and keep the track. These are the important concepts or important management tools: innovation journey, innovation circles, design leadership, business model canvas. So, design management and leadership I explained, then business model canvas, then innovation circles, then innovation journey. So, there are a lot of other management tools also to keep the idea or ideation or innovation to be moved forward, but this is more than enough for a starting company which is going to implement the innovation culture, or we have to build the innovation culture. First one is ideation, then leadership, then leadership tools are business canvas, business model canvas, then test the innovation by using the circles, and manage using innovation journey. That is why I limited my presentation to these factors. And more than that, if you more deep into that, this is more a professional work, and it is beyond the total team. It will be limited to the main team to management. So, for our presentation limitation, that is implementing or the culture of innovation, this is more than enough to start with. Then of course, you will be having a lot of bottlenecks. Culture, it's not easy to change the culture. Whatever we can talk about, we can say that innovation culture, how to build, we can do a lot of classroom trainings, and we can do lot of mind refreshing programs, or lot of programs we can do. Still the change in culture is not an easy thing, especially in the top management. Even in the bottom management it's little bit easier, but in the top management the change in culture is very tough. So, these are the bottlenecks you are going to face: the culture, innovation culture, in investment requirement, resources, penetration. So, whatever may be the bottlenecks, the only solution we have overcome it with leadership skills. Without leadership skills, you can't implement innovation culture in an organization. So, whatever may be the bottlenecks, you have to manage, we have to track, or we have to manage, we have to overcome with the leadership skills. Building an innovation team and moving with the innovation team also it required a leadership skills. This is the only tool I have to manage the things, build or brush up your leadership skill and continue. So, what are the takeaways? How to build an innovation culture within the organization? In these 4 sessions combined together, I have only one point to put in front of you, that is idea ownership. This is the best tool to start innovation culture in an organization. Don't take that, oh, you give me your idea, we will implement. No. So, you have to collect the idea from the team, then give the idea ownership to the team who suggests that idea, let them be part of the implementation team, then continue with that. That manage in a professional way, but the owners of the idea should be in the part of innovation team. So, idea ownership is the best tool to implement innovation culture in an organization. You have to incentivize people for ideation, encourage them for ideation. Even though you incentivize, they won't give the idea, so you have to encourage them for ideation and recognize them, give the ownership. Then you can, when you implement business model canvas, the idea ownership change to startup inside the organization, a startup culture. We call it a startup culture because inside the organization we can start new startups. For each idea or each concept will be a startup, then it moves towards a product and it moves towards a business unit. That is the innovation culture. So, entire organization culture has to be changed from the metric structure or that type of organization structure to the modern way of innovation. The entire team is in the innovation journey, and they can create lot of startup culture as well as idea ownership inside the organization, and develop a healthy competition between them, and different products will be under each unit. This is the way you can implement innovation culture in the organization. Well, if you are starting with innovation culture, so you have lot of tools I already explained to start with. Build a team, then start. If you already have the innovation culture, look into the idea deck, ideation deck, whether it is in the right direction. If not, correct it, then implement the idea ownership properly, give the idea ownership to the person who is suggesting. Maybe just a newcomer or just a trainee in your organization gives that idea, let him lead that idea with that idea. That is the toughest area for the top management to change the culture. Top management, it is very difficult to accept that idea ownership method. Most of the companies, they collect the ideas and another team will implement it. That's not a right method. It will fail in future because it's not a culture. You are getting some idea from your client or market or from your team and you are implementing it. That's not a, we can't say that it's a culture of the organization. It's a duty of one department, like a R&D. That's old concept is R&D. But idea ownership is giving the idea ownership to any person who is coming with that idea. That is the culture. So, that culture you have to build, that towards that culture entire team has to move. That is the only solution or the best solution you can suggest to build an innovation culture within the organization. Of course, from these 4 weeks we discussed lot of things about innovation culture and how to implement it and how to build the culture for the entire organization. So, apply it, and if you need more information or if you are interested to talk to me about any stage of this innovation culture or any part of the open innovation journey, you can fix an appointment by scanning this QR code. At the same time, you can subscribe to our newsletter UX Living Lab News for more details. So, next week we will start another series we will be announcing later. So, these are the 5 main steps a innovation team has to follow. That is a listen, plan, execute, deploy, measure. Build the idea ownership culture, that is an innovation culture. Thank you so much.